Great defense on the help side. Warren comes in from the backside after a kind of flyby defensive play for Florida. It would have been a wide open layup. She doesn't give up on the play. You see Dry Warren coming in from behind, getting a back tip, ball out of bounds. You can see both these teams really battling defensively right now.
Meantime, Texas Tech had that win by 10 on the road at Virginia Tech, Brittany, in a game they never trailed. They had 20 offensive rebounds in that game.
And I was going to say that Texas Tech came out and jumped on top of it. And that's what Florida's got to be ready for. Is this is a Texas Tech team that, they can get out early, get some points on you. You don't want to let that happen if you're Florida. On the flip side, if you're Florida, you want to do that to a Texas Tech team. And if you're Texas Tech, rebound, wow.
How about another long arm of the law, Jariah Warren.
I like that the refs are letting them kind of, they're not fouls, but there's some contact in with them. But both teams on both sides, I like it. But to get back to the point, Texas Tech does rebound the ball well the last game. Florida's got to be able to get them off the boards. And if you're Texas Tech, you want to keep every possession you can getting offensive rebounds.
Well, teams trending in a similar direction. Texas Tech has won 5 of the last 6. McGill can't knock it down. Gators 4 of their last 5. Both went to the quarterfinal round of their conference tournaments. Here's Shavers, carves to the bucket, met with contact, no whistle. Shavers got it back, flips it short. This is how the Gators want to move quickly in transition. Reynolds bumps. Krista Gerlich, head coach at Texas Tech, said the key is going to be transition defense tonight.
For Texas Tech, it's how fast can you get back in transition and play defense, because we know that Florida wants to push the ball in transition. They want to score. That's where they're at their best. We've got to be able to defend that.
We had a lot of contact where we didn't have a whole lot of whistles. That'll be our first whistle of the night from Brian Enterline across the way. Maggie Tiemann, John Capolino, 3-member officiating crew. There's Kelly Ray Finley, one of 2 head coaches in Florida history. 4 straight postseason berths in their first 4 seasons as head coach. Of course, went to the tournament her first year as head coach. Deep in the clock, Freelon high off the window. It's been a rough start for Texas Tech. 0 of their first 8. McGill navigates in off 4 for the Gator point guard.
And as that was, Shea Kyle brought the ball up the floor to the half court, but she wasn't down low in the post. That actually opened up a drive to the basket for Liv McGill, because Shea Kyle was beyond the 3-point line and the big was out with her.
Shavers met by Dizeko. Now it's McGill, shot out of a cannon. Kyle runs the floor, good catch, good finish. 6-0 run to begin it.
And Florida finally able to take advantage of the fact that Texas Tech hasn't been able to hit a shot.
You mentioned it was the Lady Raiders who threw that first punch against Virginia Tech. The Hokies went on a 3rd quarter run, but the Lady Raiders continue to separate as McGill, plunging towards the sideline, could not save it.
Good hustle by the freshman, trying to keep the possession alive in play so that they get it back on the offensive end, because that's important for Florida. They've got to get possessions, keep them, get multiple possessions from either turnovers, missed rebounds, or not missed shots, and get the defensive rebound and push the ball up the floor.
Kenza Salguez comes in along with Miara O'Neal. A night on Sunday that Kenza will never forget. We showed it in the open, the game-winning shot with no time left from the right wing as Maupin will launch, and it's still no points.
I mean, for her, you couldn't line it up even better. The lights went off around the rim, around the goal, as it went through the net.
Warren, a couple of 3-point tries, will work inside the arc. Nice box out in the interior. Kyla Freelon, the rebound. Here's Maupin, glides to the cup, doesn't finish, but a chance for points at the line where Brittany Bailey Maupin has hit 32 consecutive free throws.
Just say this is where Maupin is so good. Her drives to the basket, her attacks, her finishing with contact. She doesn't shy away from contact. Her coach said she'll go in there. She'll take the contact. She'll drive into the basket. You can see on this drive in, she gets a really hard hit across the face. McGill going for that ball. Doesn't get it. What a strong play by the junior. Where you said it, she is so good from the free throw line.
Fearless. Bailey Maupin had an outstanding tournament. 13 of 22 from the floor. That 23-point game in Blacksburg 17 in the win on the road against Wyoming. And there's that first missed after 32 consecutive made free throws. Perhaps the swipe of the face didn't help.
She is someone you don't want to send to the line, especially down the stretch.
Wow, maybe we really did jinx her. Apologies, Bailey.
Yeah, you got to send out some apologies.
You write some letters after that.
I try to keep it quiet. Being a former player, it's like, don't say it yet.
Here's Salguez now. Gators trying to separate here after an 0-9 beginning for Texas Tech, and nobody needs this timeout more than the ones from Lubbock. Gators a 6-0 beginning. 4 of those from the Gator point guard, Liv McGill. Games where they've won 5 of them, and this was all on the heels of a 9-game losing streak in the final 2 days of January and February.
I mean, what a turnaround. When you lose that many games, a lot of times, teams will just go ahead, hey, it's over, season's over, tank it down. They really regrouped and have been playing some really good basketball.
Of note, they beat Utah in the Big 12 tournament, who's a tournament team, and Oklahoma State, they're within a possession. That's another NCAA tournament team. They lost in the quarters to OK State. Well, it's an 0-9 beginning. They just need a bucket here. They had Bailey Maupin miss 2 free throws, who was 82% as well. Here's Jada Wynn, wraps it around, almost a turnover. Freelon had it swept out of her hand, 7 to shoot. For
Texas Tech, it's one of those, I think they need to see the ball go through their rim. Whether that's a free throw, a layup, they've got to see something, because this is a team, they can score.
How about Kelly Ray Finley? 4 consecutive postseasons, 3 McDonald's All-Americans she has brought to this roster. And they have gotten hot here in March, starting with the conference tournament, back-to-back trips to the quarters. Late in the clock now, it's Wynn with 2. Gives it up, Fritz will launch, can't hit. Freelon the offensive rebound. Tries to tug it away from 2 and gets it out to the perimeter. Maupin will launch, no. Freelon, 0 of 11 now.
Yeah, Freelon, a player who is a big-time offensive rebounder. Florida's going to have to know where she is, because she's attacking that glass.
Coming off that 20 offensive rebound game for Texas Tech, the most since December of 2023 for a single game. Reynolds, high-low touch, O'Neal, great position.
What a great pass in, and really good position by the freshman. She had the defense on her high side. There was no backside help. Put the ball right where her hand was, high, catch, and finish.
Gators keeping the momentum of a 47-point second half at UNLV, where they trailed by 11 at halftime. It's the first Gator win when trailing at the break all year. It came this past Sunday. Logan Johnson, the X factor off the bench. There it is, the first bucket. And it's an and one for Logan Johnson.
See this drive to the basket. She sees a lane. Layla Reynolds kind of just gets in the way, turns around, and then fouls as it goes in. It's exactly what Texas Tech needed. They needed a strong take to the basket, finish, potential three-point play to get them started.
Exactly what Coach Gerlich said about Johnson. She is our best driver. Finishes through contact. She was scoreless against Virginia Tech, but had 5 assists. Up and down in this WBIT. Offensive reset. It's Shavers on the offensive glass. Along with Maupin, 45% of the Lady Raider offense, and they're right back in it here as they get on the board.
And just like that, a 4-point swing for Texas Tech. Or 5-point, no, missed the free throw. So got the rebound, put it back.
Salguez corner pop. Last touch, Florida.
In the way Texas Tech has been rebounding the ball well to start this game, Florida on the flip side, offensively, they need to try to hit the glass a little bit. On missed shots, they've got to create more possession opportunities.
Yeah, right now, already 4-1 advantage in offensive rebounds here for Texas Tech. Shavers unleashes. Another offensive board. Freelon got fouled by O'Neal. Late whistle from Brian Enterline out near the perimeter.
And the perimeter called it. Baseline didn't. You see Florida fans not really liking that call. Texas Tech wanted that call. The missed shot comes up. You can see the rebound.
What's the old adage, Brittany? Find a body on the glass, right?
Yep, you've got to find a body. Florida's trying to jump right now. They've got to find somebody. Texas Tech is doing a good job of getting around Florida and then jumping for the ball, whereas Florida's just turning and looking right now.
Kyla Freelon entered as a starter when Jordan Merritt, former Florida Gator, was in the house, who since medically retired during this season, during conference play. We'll get into more of that story a little bit later in this game, but she's entered in as a starter tonight, her 17th start of the year. McGill had an early 4, stop and pop. Gators just north of 30%. Five-out look, Shavers. On the switch with O'Neal, the crossover, and travel.
And that's Texas is trying to get that post player on Shaver. O'Neal does a really good job of staying in a stance. She got in front of her every movement. I caused her to travel. That's really good defense by Florida. Texas is trying to get that mismatch. Weren't able to take advantage of it.
Of course, Miara O'Neal, the daughter of Shaquille O'Neal. The Gators had, what was it, Big Chicken in Las Vegas?
Yeah,
Shaq's Restaurant. They got some free chicken out in Vegas. The entire team. Gators spent about 48 hours in Las Vegas when they played UNLV. Chance to see the sights and the sounds.
Get a win, big win.
McGill for the roller, Gassett backs in. That's her move. Cash it.
That's really where Lex Gass is at her finest offensively. She's got a nice little turnaround baseline jumper.
Wonder how many of those she takes in the offseason.
And practices over and over. You can tell that's a practice shot. She's very comfortable with it. Reads the defense well, spins off, turn around, knocks it down.
Right back into the arms of Shavers. Sonogo mopping late in the clock. Shavers.
That was a design play for a kickback pass for Shavers to knock down a 3. Again, they're trying to pull Shea Kyle out of that paint area.
Texas Tech still looking for their first make from distance. 0 of their first 8. Came in shooting 32%, about 6.5 makes per game. McGill on an island with Jada Wynn. Cross court, Warren. Late in the clock again. Kyle gives it up. McGill sees it. On the rip through, lost it. Bodies tangle and a shot clock violation. Gators don't get a shot up. Great hustle from Jada Wynn.
Great hustle. Great defense by Texas Tech. They shut down every option Florida was looking for. Drives to the basket from Liv McGill. And then Jariah Warren gets a kick-out pass on the wing. She tries to drive in. They cut off the baseline. Get it into the post. Nothing there. Really good team defense by Texas Tech that possession.
Offensively, this first quarter is not going to go into a museum. No. Jada Wynn lines it up. A little bit overcooked, and point goes out of play. Both teams pretty combined, 0 of 12 from 3.
And neither one shooting the ball particularly well. It's, can Florida here, while Texas Tech isn't hitting shots, take advantage?
Well, that's the thing. You look at it for Texas Tech, you've scored 4 points and you're only down 7. You've scored 4 for an entire quarter and you're still within 7.
So if you're Florida, you've got to be a little bit upset with yourself that you weren't able to knock down shots more with Texas Tech not hitting here on your home court.
About a 9-second differential. Reynolds now runs the point. Trying a hard Gassett screen. Warren attacks. Reynolds curls in, kick it out. Gassett skitters out. Joel Magat on the floor for the first time has the rebound. Final shot here of the quarter for Texas Tech. Shavers slashes in, falls away, and a whistle with 1.8. That'll go on Jariah Warren.
Not a lot of whistles in the quarter. One comes with 1.8 left on a drive. That's a nice drive to the basket. Gets the defense out of position. Jariah Warren picking up the foul. Not real happy with it.
That's the second on Jariah Warren.
That's why she's not real happy with it.
Comes with 1.8. And amidst these shooting struggles, Texas Tech has missed their first 5 free throws. That ends that stretch. Jasmine Shavers started her career at Mississippi State but never played. Was there for a semester and then transferred back to her home state. Native of Mesquite, Texas.
If you're Texas Tech right now, you're pretty happy with the way you've kind of bounced back and kept it close.
Dyseko doesn't get a shot off, so 6 points in the quarter for Texas Tech, and they're only down 5. Winner will take on the winner of Gonzaga and Minnesota in the semis in Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. So either one of these teams trying to punch their ticket, keep that hope alive for a championship. Last year, Illinois won the WBIT. They were an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament this season, so perhaps a precursor of things to come. Nice catch by Fritz in the corner.
Great saving catch.
Maupin just had it stripped away. Dyseko, the primary defender. McGill on the steal. Glides to the cup.
Almost got tripped up, able to catch her balance back on the drive to the basket and finish. Now that'd be, I believe, 6 points.
You sense the Gators frustrating Bailey Maupin here in the early going, number 20 in black, as Shavers knocks down a tray.
Great hit by Shavers. You've got to get a hand up in her face. She's a 32% three-point shooter. She's going to shoot the ball. Coming into this game, she had 195 attempts from the three-point line.
Just 1 of 7 against Virginia Tech.
But she'll let
downtown.
Let it go.
Dyseko can't find the answer. 6'6" Shea Kyle taps it to the wrong colored jersey.
Offensively, I'd like to see Florida attack the glass a little bit more. They're kind of just watching the shots, leaving it to Shea Kyle to go and rebound.
Shavers back-to-back from downtown. And they just teed up Shavers. She did a gesture with her hand that you can't do, and they got her right away. It was right in front of the official.
And coach turned right there and said, you can't do that.
I think the gesture might have been towards the Florida bench as well.
You can see the strength coach for Florida standing up on the back of the bench.
First of all, you can't go under on Jasmine Shavers.
No, you cannot.
And then hits the three, and that the gesture.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna fly. But you can see that she's heating up from that three-point line.
So after a slow start, back-to-back threes here for Jasmine Shavers. Buck gets teed up on the gesture towards the Gator bench, or perhaps the Gator fan section behind their bench.
Yep.
Unsporting technical foul. Maggie Tiemann comes over, so an unsportsmanlike act.
Contact, yeah.
That'll send Liv McGill to the line. Well, it took a little bit for Texas Tech to wake up, but here they are.
And right in this game right now, only down 2.
Of course, the bench didn't like that call for Texas Tech, and McGill cashes in with 2 free throws, plus the ball coming up here. And another look at that said gesture. Did I get it?
Yeah, it's one of those, you just gotta make the call, I guess.
It looks like a certain gesture that you're not allowed to at all. If she was going for that or not, who knows?
I think there's also a taunting factor that they try to keep out of it as well. So, but can Florida take advantage of that? They got the 2 free throws. Can they go up more? Because they have let Texas Tech back in this game when they had the opportunity to kind of not run away with it early, but catch a bigger lead early in this game.
And just a 2 of 16 first quarter for Texas Tech, and they were only down 5, and back-to-back threes has got them right back to within a possession here.
Oh, Florida missed Layla Reynolds underneath the basket, open for a layup and underneath out of bounds.
McGill in ISO. Salgas, her spot. Cash.
She likes the corner pocket shot. I know she hit the game winner on the wing, but she has hit a lot of shots this season for Florida, right in that corner.
Salgas 3 big trays against UNLV, none bigger than the game winner. Shavers bodies in on Salgas and a charge.
And that's going to be her second.
We saw Warren picked up her second, forcing her to come off the bench at some point here in this quarter for the Gators.
See on the drive to the basket, might have gotten away with a back foot drag and then just turns right. You can see Salgas does a really good job. If she could feel that Shavers are going to turn back over that right shoulder, and she bodied up to her and got the charge.
Meanwhile,
Florida
Reynolds and McGill, no communication, and it goes right to Logan Johnson. So looking at some foul trouble for 2 stars one on each side. Jariah Warren for the Gators with 2, and Shavers to the bench with 2.
When you have that situation, who's going to step up for your team on the offensive end? Florida still has their 2 leading scorers in the game as Liv McGill just gets the ball taken from her.
Head of the field, Maupin lays it up and in. And Texas Tech within a possession. Back-to-back turnovers here. And here's that full court press that Texas Tech hangs their hat on. McGill now grinds in the floater. Able to save it towards Salguez, wide open. Airballed short. A chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Maupin for the lead. Here's that pace the Gators want to play at. Now they slow it up. Florida's never trailed in this game. McGill accelerates inside with a left hand. Great start for the Gator freshman guard. She already is in double figures with 10.
Yeah, and I like that Texas Tech, they hopped into that press. I like the pressure that they're trying to put on Florida. They feel the momentum swing, trying to get back on their side. Really good defensive team trying to step it up.
Team that has been tested against seeded teams in this tournament, Wyoming and Va Tech. That's Fritz, a downtown hit. Danae Fritz, 35% three-point shooter, one of the best on the team from deep.
Texas Tech heating up from that three-point line right now.
Coach Gerlich says Fritz, the ultimate competitor, super tough, a glue player for us. It's Kyle, got it denied by Sonogo, her second block. All the momentum right now in the Lady Raiders. Chance to take their first lead. Johnson off the curl and a hand check. This will go on Shea Kyle.
And that, you can tell Texas Tech is trying to do that. They know that Shea Kyle's going to come out there big and hedge, and she's actually been switching a couple times, so the guard's trying to take advantage of the fact to get her off balance and get those fouls away from the basket. They want to pull her out, don't allow her to guard around the rim.
Just the first on Shea Kyle. A couple of subs come in. Adley Blacklock is on for the first time, along with Jalen Bristol. And the Gators,
4 fouls. Both teams have 4 fouls, so the next one for each.
You're looking at
timeouts.
timeouts.
I was looking at timeouts, sorry. I saw 4 and I just,
Yeah, his first team foul for the Gators of this quarter. Not quite free throws yet, near the midway mark in the second.
I think we hadn't had that many whistles.
Maupin. Gators all over her in the early going. Another block. It's Layla Reynolds. Gators space it. Salguez in transit. Cut off. Will launch. And hit.
Nice side step by Salguez. Defense comes out, pressures her up. She doesn't feel comfortable with that, but she practices that shot. A little side dribble, knocks it down. The senior does not want this to be her last game.
Former Miami Hurricane, 105th career game for the native of Montpelier, France. Maupin. Sonogo off her fingertips, and that's the second on Shea Kyle.
It's a good read, slip to the basket. She knew Shea Kyle was going to step out big, gets her out of position, and gets her to foul.
So now that'll force the Gators to play a little bit smaller with Lex Gassett coming in.
But with Lex Gassett coming in, she defends the guard position really well for Florida. And so when they're running this kind of 5-out weave option, they've got Gassett there that might defend on the perimeter a little bit better.
Brute force. Logan Johnson on the back end and bucket. Late arriving to the party for both of these teams on the offensive end, but here we are in the second. McGill already in double figures, says, I'll take. Here's Gassett, strong rebound. Sonogo, another block. Sonogo had 50 blocks coming in from the JUCO ranks. Even better rim protector than they thought when they got her out of the JUCO ranks. Bristow snaps the net. And just like that, the first lead here for Texas Tech. McGill downhill, quickly attacks and reclaims that lead.
Florida has numbers. They're double teaming Liv McGill in the backcourt. So she just split the defense, had the jerseys behind her. No one steps up to pick her up. 12th point of the game.
Maupin wants a screen. This is just out of play. Bristow couldn't connect with Johnson. That'll send us to a break. We had 17 total points in the first.
Florida was able to get it back on a drive to the basket. Got a close ball game here.
And it all unlocked when Jasmine Shavers hit an early back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden the floodgates had opened for Texas Tech after an 0 of 9 first quarter from 3. Texas Tech had a lead for a few seconds until Liv McGill put Florida back out in front. Liv McGill has led the way for the Orange and Blue with 12. Winner to Indianapolis.
Double team at the top of the key.
Long heave towards Ernie Kindred for the first time. Reynolds attacks. They call a foul here. This will go on Logan Johnson.
So Texas Tech comes out of that timeout and they just split Liv McGill. Tried to push her out to the half-court line. She's got the court vision. She knows that corner is open because they're going to defend the paint and they're going to defend open up to that three-point line. So that far corner she knew was open.
Reynolds, short corner jumper. Perfectly drawn up.
Yeah, those are the shots underneath out of bounds. When you get a nice screen at the top, you've got to knock those down. Layla Reynolds does.
Texas Tech, a team known for their defensive pressure, perhaps trying to force the Gators into some live ball mistakes. Inside, great look. Kelly Mora only played 2 minutes in Blacksburg. Averaging just 3 minutes a game. This is her 9th game played all year. Salguez, another corner three. Bristow, the rebound. Gators in search of their first postseason semifinal since the 2013 NIT. For Texas Tech, the 93 Final Four is the last time they were in a semi. Bristow. More a one-handed rebound will get McGill on the foul. So Liv McGill picks up her second.
McGill getting switched onto a much bigger player down low, tries to get her hand on it, gets fouled instead, but doesn't let her make the basket.
Last game against Virginia Tech for Kelly Mora was her first point since November 29th. We mentioned this is just her 9th game played all year. It's been a Texas Tech team we mentioned on the road. This is a 6th consecutive game away from Lubbock, Texas. They spent about 1 day back home between Laramie, Blacksburg, now Gainesville, of course, the conference tournament. Previous to that, played 3 games in the conference tournament.
Road Warriors right now.
They've had all sorts of delays throughout this whole long road trip. McGill gives it inside off the hands of Gassett. Johnson got tripped up. Gators winning that turnover battle. That's their 3rd giveaway. Johnson slices in on Kindred. Mora can't grab it. Now McGill, turbo button, off-legged runners in, wave it off, a charge.
That's her 3rd foul.
And the star SEC all-freshman guard picks up number 3.
She tried to get it off beforehand, but Maupin gets her position early. She knows Liv McGill wants to get there, and it's on the landing. Kind of moves over to the side. Liv McGill wanted the and one. Texas Tech gets a foul.
You can see the energy on that Texas Tech bench.
All
this team
over it. They are in it.
Kicked it into another gear since the start of this tournament as Layla Reynolds picks up a reaching foul. It's going to be the 15th foul and 2 shots coming up here for the Lady Raiders.
Florida right now kind of hit a skid. They were riding it offensively, defensively. Right now, Texas Tech fighting their way back in this game. They've tied it up. How will Florida respond to that? Can they go on a run here after this free throw to kind of close out the last just under 2 minutes?
Today, Fritz at the line. We talked to Krista Gerlich yesterday, and she mentioned the Well, the energy of this group, despite not being home really over the last few weeks. She referenced the bus ride from the Orlando airport to Gainesville, and just at one point she wanted to scream to the team, will you just fall asleep already? So energetic as the Gators lose this out of bounds. Salguez couldn't get a clean dribble.
Texas Tech has all the momentum right now going into halftime. Just under 2 minutes. They're getting turnovers on this full court press. Florida's just turning the ball over, knocking shots down. Is Texas Tech. Great backdoor cut. Florida able to get their hands on the ball though.
Using her length. Salguez, the floater, and it's
another charge.
Same spot, same result. This time it's Salguez.
Really interesting considering they were letting a lot of contact go in the first quarter. Now changing it up some. Texas Tech getting in position, not trying to jump for shots. I don't know if they gave her enough room to come down.
And of note, that restricted arc does not come into play in the women's game. That was Jada Wynn who took it. Second foul on Salguez. Fritz.
It's off of Fritz's knee.
Will be Florida ball. I'd say the first on Salguez.
Someone's got to come back and. Florida was walking away. Got to throw it in if you're Florida.
Here's that full 94 feet. Texas Tech force about 18.5 turnovers per game. That's third best in the Big 12. Final minute before halftime. Warren is really yet to get going. Warren scurries in. Now it's Reynolds. Pulls up into that familiar jumper. 15-second differential. Texas Tech has claimed the lead here late in the second quarter.
Texas Tech getting that composure in this second quarter, able to take the lead from Florida.
Maupin down the lane. 2 shots for Bailey Maupin.
I mean, what she has, just the patience at the top of the key, kind of methodically, change of speed a little bit, gets down in there, draws the contact in. Very good free throw shooter. Stepping to the line to try to increase his lead to 4.
Last year had a career season over 14 points per game, nearing that this year. She's 6 points away from a 500-point season. Would join Jasmine Shavers as the first pair of teammates since the mid-90s to score at least 500 points in a single season in Texas Tech women's basketball history. And a 7-0 run now makes this a game-best lead here of 4. Gators trailed it by double figures at the half against UNLV. It was their first win when leading or trailing at the break. Gators can hold for the final shot. Reynolds goes to work. Salguez off the curl. Well off the mark. That'll bring us to an end of the first half.
2 points. I was going to say 3 rebounds, but yeah, 2 points, 3 rebounds. She's got to get involved in their offense.
And 2 fouls.
Yeah, and 2 fouls.
Gators have their original starting 5. Same goes for Texas Tech to begin this third. Reynolds, the leaner.
That looked awkward coming off of the offenses. She went straight up. Didn't look totally comfortable with that shot.
Gators had their first win on Sunday when trailing at the half. Reynolds rips it away. Coast to coast for Leray. Just missed the bunny at the rim. McGill comes away with it and then promptly threw it into the arms of Maupin.
And those are the passes that you've got to make sure you connect on here in the postseason. Once you get a steal and a get back and a put back offensive foul, because what does that lead to? A Texas Tech 3.
Bailey Maupin knocks down the triple. That's her first make from long range. Extends this out to 7, a game-best Texas Tech lead, and this only the second meeting all time between these two schools, last of which in 2018. Well, there's a touch right on cue. Shea Kyle gets fouled extending to the rim. As if they had the headset on, they went right back to Shea Kyle. They heard you.
And that's, I mean, really, she's got to become a dominant force down there, because if they have to guard her down there, that's going to open up other shots and other looks for this Florida team, whether that's drives to the basket because they can't help off. If you keep her on the block and you're driving the opposite block, you can't help off on her. And then Florida's got to hit some threes from outside, but also they've got to take care of the basketball. You can't just hand it over to this Texas Tech team, and they've done that repeatedly. And what has Texas Tech done? They've scored off of that.
Forced 8 turnovers at the Lady Raiders. Meanwhile, Shea Kyle having a career year, and this her final year, 114th game, trying to not make it her last. Team leader in rebounds, 14 points per game, 15 double-doubles. We get a foul pre-entry on Alexia Dizeko. A win tonight for the Gators would guarantee a winning season on the overall record. Meanwhile, Texas Tech would have their second 20-win season under Krista Gerlich in her 5th year. Here's Fritz on the breakout. Shavers had to sit most of that second after those 2 fouls. Got teed up at one point. Gators a high show. Fritz in the corner. Got it.
This is a Texas Tech team that has caught fire from the three-point line.
Much like what the Gators did against UNLV at 14 makes a season high after a slow start. 6 now threes here for Texas Tech.
The question is, can Florida respond? Can they get some consecutive stops and scores? Right now, Texas Tech just taking the ball right out of the hands of Florida Gators.
Trying to add to a game-best lead. Then some of the others, aside from Moppet and Shavers, who have about half their scoring, that have stepped up here as Sonogo travels. Miara O'Neal, Alexia Dizeko enter into the game. Shea Kyle, Layla Reynolds take a seat.
Now, where's that fire and where's that spark going to come for Florida right now? Because I feel like it's really lacking on the offensive end for them. They've got to find somebody consistently that they can kind of catch fire and go to.
Is that Jariah Warren, who has yet to score in this game?
I was going to say, she's been real quiet. Can she step? She's been their go-to when they've needed a comeback.
Back-to-back 20-plus point games. McGill off the spin. Now Moppin. So Warren still scoreless. There's 3 shot attempts. Fritz gets it back. Freelon now bends the edge. Fritz the offensive rebound. Moppin in the corner. Long lead, Dizeko, the catch in stride.
And turning a missed shot right into an easy layup for Florida. That's good eye-court vision by Kinza Salgas, and a nice run out on the opposite side by Dizeko, finishing with the left hand.
First points for Lex Dizeko. O'Neal, the high show on Moppin. Splits that double. Moppin's wide open. Cash it.
Florida, everyone left her. They went on their roll, slipped to the basket. Salgas went down, but O'Neal was going down as well. They didn't know who was going to stay. Texas Tech says, hey, we're knocking that down. Moppin says, you can't leave me this open. And she was deep, too.
Moppin now over 500 points this year. One of 2 on this roster to achieve that feat.
You can see they both ran down to cover the low, and you can't leave the three-point shot open right now for Texas Tech, because they are now 7 threes on the night. What started slow in the first quarter, they have picked it up.
9 straight in double figures now for Bailey Moppin. And here she is, 2nd year as a full-time starter. The heartbeat of this team. Coach Gerlich said her leadership has grown, just wants the ball in her hands in the critical moments, has a calmness about her in the big-time situations. 9-point lead. Shavers trying to cross up McGill, nowhere to go. Johnson late in the clock, strides in, dances off. Sonogo over the top. They get Warren on
They're
this?
going to call Jariah Warren on a box out jump over the back, but I guess she was pushing back while she was in the air.
That's her third. Let's see.
I mean,
it's a box out, right?
Yeah, that to me looked more like a jumping over Jariah Warren's back.
Is that what a box out is supposed to look like?
I mean, you're supposed to push back. you kind of find the person and push back, and they jumped over her back.
As Logan Johnson gets the bucket,
she wasn't
11-point game.
In the air pushing her back. They saw it differently than I did.
Gators need a bucket.
They need a bucket bad right now.
Kyle just has not been able to get going at all. Texas Tech in full control. Shavers had it back tapped by Reynolds.
Now this is the point in the game for Florida is can they change the turn of the tides right now? And that's one way to do it by knocking down a three. Turnover into offense. Dizeko knocks down a three. Can Florida get a couple consecutive stops to get back into this ballgame? Make it a close game.
And the Gators also get a second consecutive win when trailing by double figures in the second half. Down by 4 at the break. Johnson probes, Shavers launches. Another offensive board, Sanogo. Big disadvantage for the Gators on the offensive glass. It's been all Tech. Backdoor, Reynolds fades. Another off-balance look.
Had the layup, decided to go out to curl around. Thought the defense was going to collapse on her drive to the basket. Can't get that little jumper to fall.
McGill, active hands. Clean swipe. O'Neal runs the floor, stops and lays it in. Gators within 6. And a timeout. Gators slowly but surely getting back in this game. They trail by as many as 11. And
going on, things happen. You got to get back, going back to her home state, but still a good relationship.
And with that, medically retiring earlier in the year, but she's still with the team on the road trips. Her career has come to an end, but she has done a great job on the bench, cheering this team along on this run. They love having her a part of this program. Recently engaged as well in early February.
Congratulations.
And I'll get a travel here. Callista Martin, as they call her, Bird. She flew off that pivot foot there for a travel. That'll send us to a break. We just wanted to come back to introduce you to Jordan. I want to give a shout out to both men's teams. Both Texas Tech and Florida are playing in the Sweet 16 tonight. They could play against each other in the Elite 8 as Reynolds throws it away.
Wouldn't that be something? Florida and Texas Tech women, Florida and Texas Tech men playing within the same span of a couple days. But right now, Florida offensively unable to capitalize on the fact they had the ball out of that timeout and just throw the ball away, trying to get it inside.
Turnover margin, Gators +2 in the turnover margin.
And right now, Texas Tech, the reason they have this lead is they're out-rebounding Florida by 10.
Significant, especially on the offensive glass. Shavers. Box out from Shea Kyle.
10 offensive rebounds.
On the heels of that 20 offensive rebound performance in Blacksburg.
So if you're Florida, you know they can offensive rebound. You've got to put a body on somebody.
There's Rashea Kyle. Strong take and one. They call her Big Shea for a reason.
Now, Big Shea has been a little bit quiet, but now Big Shea said, hey, I need this and one right now. Potential three-point play for Florida, get her team back in it. The senior knows, hey, we lose this game, it's the end of my Florida career. Let me power this up strong. She's been struggling down low in this game. Texas Tech's done a good job on her defensively. The girl's saying, let's go. Maybe that'll be the spark that Florida needs.
Gators, a sluggish start to this quarter. They found themselves down by as many as 11 since they've scored the last 7 points. Lex Gassett comes in for Miara O'Neal. And Shea Kyle, last year had that ACL injury early in SEC play against Vanderbilt. Came back here for a 5th year. Her entire life lived and played in Indiana, Marion, Indiana native. Started her collegiate career at Purdue, and she has thrived here in Gainesville. One possession game. Who does Texas Tech look to? Is it Moppin? Is it Shavers? Johnson, hard turning of the corner. Not void of contact. 2 shots here for Logan Johnson, Houston, Texas native.
Texas Tech doing a good job of drawing Florida's bigs out and then driving to the basket. This kind of dribble drive offense from the 3-point line in is getting Florida's bigs out of position.
Johnson, just a sophomore. And this went viral in the last game when the Gators were here against UNI. The pep band likes to do some dances, run up and down the aisles behind the basket.
Choreographed dance now. They were running in circles. The previous one, on the one that went viral, trying to get another viral clip, was the Gator band.
Shavers, the offensive reset. Gassett saves. McGill comes out of the fray somehow. Shot out of a cannon. McGill behind the back. Warren. That would have been a highlight of epic proportions. Gators still looking to get Jariah Warren in the score column.
I get a foul trying to fight over a screen. Coach Borkham for that one. I think, it's been physical here after that first, really from the start, but here in this second half, trying to fight over a screen to get, I think it was Shea Kyle around to the block.
Only 3rd team foul of the quarter. You see Kelly Rae Finley, 4 consecutive postseasons in her first 4 years as head coach. One of 2 Gator head coaches to do that in this program's history. Bounce it into Kyle. At the end, one earlier, has another bucket.
That was an isolation play. They were saying, hey, go ahead. They're clearing out on the top side. They wanted one-on-one so Shea could go around to the left side. They cleared out the backside block. Big Shea getting 2 points for her team.
Within 1. Johnson. Back to Moppin. McGill has the steal. Gators can reclaim the lead. Digs in, goes to the left, Florida back in front. 12-0 spurt. Texas Tech has not scored in 4+ minutes. Moppin uses that screen. Wynn will launch. Long rebound for Shavers.
Another offensive rebound for Texas Tech. Keeps another possession alive. They get another look. Trying to score on this Florida team. Another block by Jariah Warren. She hasn't been in the scores shots right now. Scores table. I was going to say table, but
that's her 3rd block of the game. You remember she had an early 2.
Has been there.
How active has Liv McGill been as well defensively?
She's got 3 or 4 steals on the evening right now, and she's been aggressive. 4 steals. Once she gets it, she has her eyes up, looking for teammates. Tried the behind-the-back pass. Warren wasn't able to drop it down, but she gets the layup on that last possession.
Led the team in that category, did McGill. Steals coming in. Shavers goes to the left hand. Scoreless drought continues. Dyseko falls down. Warren saves. 12-0 Gator run. Inside, Kyle adds to it. All orange and blue in this 3rd.
That was a good positioning by the post player down low. Nice find and feed by the freshman. Liv McGill up top. But Shea Kyle had her hands high. They put it right where she was. No defense around her. She didn't have to fight for it.
And you mentioned this before. This is Texas Tech's worst quarter.
Worst quarter is their 3rd quarter. They give up the most points. Well, actually, they don't produce the most points. They give up the most points in the 4th quarter.
Moppin. Shavers bobbles the initial catch, had a clean look. Reclaims and buries it. Ends a scoring drought of 5 minutes.
Clutch shot, steps up.
Had to have it. Shavers now with 13.
3 threes to go along with that 13 points.
Gators will hold for the final shot. McGill carves in, bumps in, circle shot! And
she knows where that camera is. She finds it on the drive. It's the change of speed. If they had a reaction too of Texas Tech's coaches, I looked over at them and they were kind of like, "Are you kidding me right now?" The change of direction. She knew the contact was there. Throws it up. That is
diving into your living rooms.
That's special right there from the freshman. Scoop shot in, getting it back.
All the momentum early in this quarter with Texas Tech. That is flipped.
Hit him with the double flex.
The
low
double
flex and then the high flex.
Liv McGill, team's leading scorer. Leading scorer tonight, right to Warren. Gets it up. Oh, and in one with 1.8. First points for Jariah Warren come in the final second plus of the third quarter.
And she's been quiet. Florida hasn't rebounded the ball well. Off of a free throw, Jariah Warren gets a tip position. Good tip by Lex Gassett. She gets it. She stays with the play. Then on the backside, she's able to pound it in. Potential three-point play, but Lex Gassett keeping that ball alive, keeping it high, tipping it up in the air.
Does that get Warren going? It's short. Claim by Johnson. Final second plus tips away. Gators score 8.
Playing momentum swings have been on both sides.
Well, it's sort of played out the way the stats have shown. Texas Tech, it's been their worst quarter for them. How do they settle things down here in the fourth, Brittany?
They've got to settle it down, and I think it comes on that offensive boards where they've been very successful. Missed shots, they've crashed the boards, they've gotten extra possessions. You know, Florida getting more aggressive defensively, I think, in those passing lanes, and that's really how Florida kind of got back in it. They got defensive stops when they needed them.
Krista Gerlich, in her 5th year as head coach, an all-time great Texas Tech player in her own right, was part of a national championship team in 1993 in a variety of ways. Now sharing the ball a little bit more in this her junior season. A volume shooter, so needs to get in a rhythm to get going.
Shooter. And could this spark her, bring her team back on her shoulders?
Right at her season average, 15 tonight. One possession game. Gators have Liv McGill on the bench. She has 4 fouls. Who comes up to help? It's Iseko, sprints across. Gators had numbers. Kyle says, why not? Feathers it in. She was wide open.
She kind of waited for the defense. Do I want to shoot it? Nobody picks me up in the short corner. All right, I'm going to take that shot.
That quick hesitation's the worst thing for a shooter.
She kind of faked a pass out like we're going to reset. I think the defense thought she was going to reset the basketball. Nice bounce pass.
Freelon and one. Moppin, the special delivery on the pick and roll.
What a great pass by Moppin. Just drops a dime bounce pass.
Kyla Freelon, the native of Denver, Colorado, rolling in for 2.
Right in between the defense. 2 defenders. She held on to it just enough.
And that was Jariah Warren, Brittany, her 4th. So all sorts of foul trouble from the Gators' star players.
Look at the passion from Texas Tech right now. Back-to-back and ones.
Pep Band trying to urge that thing off the rim.
They're trying to do everything they can to help their team, now only up 1. Texas Tech getting into a full court press. Iseko comes up to save that back-to-back possessions during this press.
Iseko has an open Gassett. Kyle got her own miss, so will get fouled.
Fuller doing a good job. Shea Kyle's just staying in that short corner. All the press is coming onto one side to pressure that ball up. There's a double team, so somebody's open. Lex Gassett does a good job of diving to the basket. They pick her up. She doesn't want to get that charge. Texas Tech came over to try to take a charge. She passes it over to Shea Kyle. They're going to say that's on the floor. Shea Kyle says, I was shooting.
Foul was called on Jada Wynn, her 2nd.
I guess they were calling it on the rebound.
Only 2nd team foul this quarter. Gators have 3 team fouls. Kyla had the chair pulled out. There's Kyla Freelon. That's her 2nd.
That third quarter really sparked Shea Kyle. She wants the ball down low now. They're trying to get it to her as far as, Texas Tech's going to bring in a bigger body to battle against Shea Kyle.
Joel Magat, the 6'7" sophomore center from Tucson. Right back to Shea Kyle. McGott got a hand on it. Chance to take the lead. Shavers,
That's a
moving screen.
Yeah, you can't move that much on that. That was an easy call for the referees. You can see on the play, Layla Reynolds is going up, trying to go over the top, and the screen just keeps moving. She's going to go over top, decides to go underneath. You really don't want to go underneath right now on Texas Tech.
What's the remedy to this pressure here if you're Florida? This is what Texas Tech excels at. Go
Stay
with
calm.
McGill.
You've got to stay calm.
Salgas had a bit of a shove off. Reynolds all the way in. Back tap to Gassett. Inside Reynolds, the whistle.
Great find. Lex Gassett, again, gets that rebound, and then she acts like she's going to drive. She sees Layla Reynolds, kind of a scoop pass down low, because the defense is helping up and not over, and they get called with that foul. A little tip out by Shay Kyle. She notices the defense steps up to her. Good little dump down to Layla Reynolds.
McGott, that's 4. That's been that main reserve off the bench to deal with Shay Kyle, so she has to come out. Logan Johnson back in for Jada Wynn. And 2 shots here for Layla Reynolds. Meanwhile, Brittany, the Gators will be shooting free throws here for the final 6-12. That was the 5th team foul.
If you're Florida, you want to be aware of that. And so any foul, you're stepping in the foul line, you want to be strong with the ball, especially in a press. Because if they slap your arms, you're going to go to the foul line, and that gets you out of the press.
Of note, the Gators as a team shoot at 73%. Texas Tech 70% if it comes down to free throws late. Here's Fritz. Speeds across the lane. Maupin dips in that shoulder. Had it deflected out by Salgas.
Trying to get away with an extra step as well as a drag, but I like the way she attacks. She is fearless going in.
Had a career-high 28 points in Big 12 play against Houston. Had 25 against an SEC team in Arkansas. Coming off a 23-point performance in the second round in Blacksburg. With a trigger person here. Maupin fends off Reynolds. Shavers, long 2. Reynolds got tripped up and out of play.
I think Florida's realizing we've got to defensive rebound right now. We can't allow this Texas Tech team to get another extra possession.
Kelly Ray Finley's team was down 11 in the 3rd quarter. Led for the majority of that first half. Maupin for the lead, can't hit it.
Now Florida went way under and then just throwing the ball away. Way under a double screen, and these are possessions, Kyle, for both teams that really matter. You're about halfway through the 4th quarter right now. You have to really value and make sure every pass is connecting here down the stretch in a tight game like this.
Chance to tie or take the lead. Near the midway mark in the 4th. Sanogo just kind of fell asleep. Texas Tech looking for a 20-win season. More importantly, a trip to the semis. Be their 6th win in the last 7. They had a 9-game losing streak in January and lost all 7 games in February. Shavers knifes in. Loose ball. It's Fritz. Another offensive rebound. Ball spits out to Johnson, and that'll be the 4th team foul. So 1 away from putting Texas Tech in the bonus. Amazing the turnaround for this Texas Tech team.
I mean, it really is. And then all on the road, really. I mean, if they win this game tonight, to win the whole thing, everything will be on the road for them.
Adversity has been in this team's DNA.
And they've embraced it. They've embraced that road warrior mentality, and it's really kind of what you have to do to win on the road.
Had a lot of travel issues this year with snow and fog. Johnson, Sanogo off the spin, comes up empty again, another reset. Moppin working around Shavers, past a flyby for the lead. Bullseye! And a Gator chomp from Jasmine Shavers. Remember, she was teed up for taunting the Gator bench before. Texas Tech back in front. No Liv McGill. She has 4.
I was about to say, how long does Florida wait on the Liv McGill? Yeah, and Coach trying to say, hey, you can't. She's talking about the Gator chomps.
Well, Kelly Ray Finley wanted that taunting call. Meanwhile,
volume shooter. She's caught a little bit of fire here in the 4th. What can Florida do to combat that?
Had a foul on Sarah Sonogo previous to the timeout. Meanwhile, Shavers, 15 straight games in double figures. Has been big in this WBIT. He's led the team in scoring 15 times this year and trending to do so once again.
Florida's put Liv McGill back on the court. How does that change the dynamic?
And Jariah Warren. Both have 4 fouls, Brittany. So sensing that momentum changing.
Yep, the momentum changing and saying, hey, I mean, we're not saving for another game. This could be the last if we don't get the win.
Johnson now attacks. Sonogo brought it down low. Splits a double. 2 shots.
Battling down low. The double team comes from Florida. Not sure. Hands looked high. She was able to get that foul.
Let me ask you this. How difficult does it make the Gators now defensive ideology when you're essentially in a way playing 3-on-5 because you have 2 players that are sort of playing not to foul in Warren and McGill?
Yeah, because you need them on the offensive end. So it's one of those decisions where it's, down the stretch you got 4 minutes. Can you give up possibly 2? Other players have to rotate, and it's more the chaos off of offensive rebound. I mean, Texas Tech has dominated the offensive glass. They have 17 offensive rebounds.
Meanwhile, Sonogo, 48% foul shooter, misses that first. Misses both. Kyle goes up high for it. Both teams, Brittany, in the bonus here for the final 4+ minutes. We'll have a lot of free throws, you'd presume, here to finish the game.
And if you're Texas Tech, Liv McGill likes to drive to the basket. Will you step up and take another charge?
Jay Kyle gets it back. This time can't finish. 2 point-blank looks for the 6'6" center.
I think right now, Shay Kyle, the way she's been playing here and the way she can position down low, can Florida get her the ball where she can just score immediately? And again, that opens up your outside jumps and your drives to the basket because you can't help off.
3rd foul. That was Shavers picks up her 3rd. And talking about free throws, Texas Tech is probably one of the best free throw shooting teams over the last handful of games. Coming into this game, Brittany, they've only missed 12 foul shots in 71 attempts as a team shooting at 83%. But tonight, just 9 of 19 from the foul line. A lot of empty opportunities at the stripe, and the Gators have cashed in a little bit more. 11 of 15 now after Kyle hits both. Still a 1-possession game. Winner to Indy. Shavers with 19 tonight. Avalanche is downhill. The answer from Jasmine Shavers.
And she's going to take advantage of the fact that there's 2 players on the floor right now for Florida at the guard position with 4 fouls.
McGill and Warren both with 4.
A battle down low right now with Shay Kyle.
McGill off the curl, traveled.
They pushed her off the line a little bit too quick. And you see Coach saying, 1 stop, Florida, 1 stop.
Can the Road Warriors or the Lady Raiders keep this magical run in March going? Led by Krista Gerlich, one of the great all-time Red Raiders. Shavers again, gives it up. Johnson, attack mode. Loose ball, Reynolds. Last touch, Florida. Kelly Ray Finley saying, we want to look at this.
Yeah, I think. But Maupin, I'm impressed with the way she takes care of the ball really well on drives to the basket.
Double comes with 3. Maupin has to shoot. Another offensive rebound. Did that ball hit rim?
Nah.
It did, I believe.
Did it?
Maggie Tiemann is saying that it did hit rim. I think it did. Now this, in the way sometimes things even out in terms of call to the semifinals in the WBIT. Second ever year for this tournament. The winner will have Gonzaga or Minnesota in the semis. They'll play later tonight, getting set to tip off near the top of the hour. Shavers, backdoor, Fritz contorts. Oh, had it denied by Shea Kyle.
And Shea wanted to keep that ball in play. Great hands-up defense by Shea Kyle to defend without fouling. But Texas Tech gets the ball again underneath out of bounds. Oh, all ball. She just can't grab it in. Good attack, but...
Swat. Shavers on the attack, fits it through. Freelon scores. Texas Tech back in front. Shea Kyle calling for it. Ducks in, curls in.
She wanted the ball. I looked at the coach on the other side. They said, duck in, big girl, duck in. And they found her one-on-one. The double team was coming from the left-hand side, so she goes to the right hand. Good read by the senior. Rebound
away from her 16th double-double. Johnson scoops one off. Texas Tech one and done. Gators in transition.
Good take by Johnson, though. Had a lane to the basket.
That rebound from Shea Kyle gives her a double-double, 17 and 10. Inside the final 2 minutes. Reynolds traveled.
Good defense by Maupin on the backside. Doesn't let it. She knows Layla Riddle wants to get the ball and go right back to the right-hand side. She pushes her off the line, off the lane line, and gets her to drag the back foot. Turnover.
You should say 19 and 10 now for Shea Kyle. Crucial turnover now. A chance for Texas Tech to reclaim the lead. We have 8 lead changes in this game. Maupin. Guess who? It's Shavers. Big time player in a big time moment. Fends off. Shot clock at 2. Got tied up. And they'll call a tie-up. The alternate arrow heads to Florida. There was 1.4 on the shot clock.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those if you're Florida.
Yeah, because you lose the arrow.
You lose the arrow. You know, so Texas Tech doesn't really lose that much on that turnover. They actually gain the arrow back because you only had 1.47 on the shot clock.
Both teams in the bonus, Brittany. 3 timeouts here in the final minute 7.
Right now, you know where the ball is going offensively for Texas Tech. Shavers has been driving every time she's got it.
Key possession here. It's McGill has been playing with 4 fouls throughout this quarter. Threw it away. Interception by Shavers. Critical error from the freshman. A chance to take the lead. In the corner, Fritz for the advantage. Swirls off. Hit every piece of the rim. We'll get a timeout. Kelly Ray Finals in Hinkle Fieldhouse. Solguez to trigger in. McGill flashes to it. Like we said, they'll churn some game clock here before they get into their set.
They're trying to get Shea Kyle open down low. They set an up screen for her. Now's the time where you've got to decide, where are we going to score? What are we going to do?
McGill long 2, left short. We'll get a shove from Layla Reynolds. It heads towards Texas Tech.
Well, that's gonna be free throws.
It will be free throws. Texas Tech in the bonus, so a chance to take the lead. Layla Reynolds, the shove.
She stayed in bounds, but got caught with the shove on the backside.
3rd foul on Layla Reynolds. This will send Logan Johnson to the line, Brittany. Only a 47% foul shooter. 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. And that pep band starts to do its thing. Off the mark.
Well, now, if you're at Texas Tech, you are attacking the boards because you have been really dominant on the offensive boards. Shea Kyle trying to get her pep band, turned to him and said, hey, we need you now.
0 for 4 at the line tonight for Johnson. Rolls off. Kyle the rebound. Timeout Gators. 1 of their 2 remaining. That'll advance with 19.1. Now if you're Texas Tech, you have to think.
And getting her players in position. She's talking to all of them, know what they're doing.
And it's Salguez to enter in. Warren, McGill, Kyle, and Reynolds, the 5 for the Gators.
They're putting somebody off the ball. Oh, they're fouled right away.
So extending this game here, they'll foul right away, not try to go for the steal. And it's McGill, who's a 73% foul shooter.
Big free throws for the freshman.
And nonetheless, you make both. It's still a 1-possession game, and you can still advance. You have all 3 timeouts if you're Texas Tech.
It's a ball game right now.
Everything still at play for a chance to go to the semifinals. Chance for 20 points tonight for Liv McGill. Strokes in the first. The highest ranked recruit in Florida women's basketball history. With one of her bigger free throws of her young career. Got both. Timeout. Texas Tech. They'll advance. If 3 can tie it, still plenty of time. And why not?
We're talking them all up. We got a lot of time in the timeouts right now.
Fritz, their best 3-point shooters, the inbounder here. Answered in towards free line. They foul right away with 17.3. It almost felt like it was intentional, but I don't think that was the case. I don't think it was. Because there's still so much time to foul right away, up 3, to concede the 2.
She's a 57% free throw shooter.
Maybe that is the conversation. You look at you go through the percentages during the timeout. If this person catches the ball, you foul right away.
And you leave them open so that she was the release pass. That's what it was. Or a catch to get to a guard to come off of a curl.
Freelon 1 of 3 at the line tonight. Swirls in the first. Gators have 1 timeout to advance on a make or a miss. Hit both. Clutch.
Ice cold.
Timeout. So the Gators use their last.
I was thinking more foul off the ball if they draw it down a little bit, but they don't really need to draw it down. They want to score quick.
17.3 left
for Texas A&M. Or not Texas A&M, Texas Tech.
There
sorry.
You go.
I apologize to my Texas Tech crowd. I did not mean that.
So Warren to inbound. McGill flashes to it. This is a foul off the ball. I think this is Shavers' ball at this point in the game. Rolls off the first. 1 more coming here for Liv McGill. A lonely feeling as she's the only one on the foul stripe.
I'm just thinking Shea Kyle's been really good from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, so has Liv McGill. You're throwing them both out there. But, I mean, Shea's 7 for 7 from the free throw line. So now it should be, it's a player control? Oh, I was thinking.
Yeah, so it'd be 2 shots in the ball here.
I was thinking they would.
Shea Kyle, they call a foul. They had her trapped. Krista Gerlich wants him to look at an elbow from Shea Kyle. Shooter. Plus the ball, which is key. All alone, Shea Kyle. Clutch.
And Florida has no timeouts.
Texas Tech has 2 remaining. Got both.
The senior stepping to the line, putting it all on her shoulders. Shea Kyle is 9 for 9 from the free throw line. What a turnaround from last season as well, in previous years for her.
Now Bailey Maupin, 82% foul shooter. These 2 shots plus the ball. Left it short. You have to hit this one, still make it a one-possession game because you're getting the ball after this.
You are getting the ball back.
The junior rattles it in. A chance to tie now with a 3, but you still have enough time to still go to the basket if you'd like.
I mean, really, a drive to the basket, potential and one with the way that this game's being called right now. I mean, drive to the basket, try to get a 3-point play. If not, you get 2 points, and then you foul quick, send Florida to the line. And who knows what happens. The last times we've sent Florida to the line, it's been a sway of events.
Gators had a big third quarter, claimed the lead. Now it's Maupin downhill. Shavers passes up to 3, lost it. Warren gets fouled. A chance to really put this away with 6.2 to go.
Yeah, lots of time taken off the clock by Texas Tech. Florida does a good job pushing them off the 3-point line. Shavers had a 3 look. She didn't like it. She knew we could get a drive to the basket and then, foul quick, get the ball back after free throws. Chooses not to. Florida gets a tip defensively, and then the senior, Jariah Warren, gets fouled. Another senior step into the line.
And what has been a quiet night for Jariah Warren could have 2 of the biggest free throws to put this away. Keeps the door open.
And Florida doesn't have somebody on the opposite line. Only Lex Gassett there rebounding.
Texas Tech has a timeout to advance. This for a 2-possession lead. Got it. Timeout. 6.2. That was the key one. You had to split if you're Warren.
Yeah, you had to have one the senior game in their tournaments and then in this one as well.
How about the night for Jasmine Shavers? Center of your screen, 21 points for the junior star. 6.2. Get it in for Mora, has to launch, can't hit, ball's loose, rebound Fritz, doesn't matter, Indy, here come the Gators. Florida off to the semis of the WB.
giờ thắng không nữa.
Hết rồi.
Hết rồi. Đẹp lắm đấy. Thế à môn gì?